Hey everybody, it's Final Form Sora, and I'm gonna do a little product review for Duplicolor's Metalcast Anodized paint, and I have here the base coat and their anodized yellow. What I did was I'm gonna be doing this on wood in my product, and so I'm doing two different types of primers. I'm using a self-etching primer, which is a bit darker, and a white gloss, and I've already sprayed the base coat on. It says two coats of light, or two light coats, and then a medium coat, 10 minutes in between each coat. So I just did the first light coat, and we'll see what happens after we're finished. Okay, so here is one of the final pieces. I decided to use this one instead because it was sanded better. You couldn't see the grain because it turns on the lathe, so this is actually just a round disc that was cut out. My camera just doesn't really pick up the color of it, but it's got more of a yellow-green tint than what's shown on the camera. It's not actually green. I'm just colorblind, but it does have the yellow tint that it shows on the pictures online. It's like pretty exact, and if I had smoothed and taken the time to sand between coats, then it would have turned out really nice. But this was just a test run to see what the color would look like, and even without the sanding, it still looks pretty nice. It only took, I'd say, an hour to paint everything, and half an hour, and it's nice and hard. You can see it leaves dimples right now because it has to fully cure, but it's you can, oh yeah, well, yeah. So it is suggested that you leave it to cure overnight, or for a couple hours, 24 hours before you try to touch it and everything. But it doesn't get fingerprints on it lightly, and you can rub your finger and it's still good. Just be careful with it when it's still after doing it. And there's the back side. I just used a white gloss primer, and then the metal cast base coat was basically a silver gloss, and then just the anodized yellow. If you want to see, here is what the wood without the primer looked like. This could just be a bad test because it's such a thin stick, so it was hard to get on there, but it looks kind of dirty. That could also be the paint that I used, or the paint could just not be compatible. And then here are the two that we were looking at. The one on the left is with the gold, or with the white gloss, and it turns out pretty nice. And this one is with the primer that had a dark gray color, and as you can see, it also looks kind of darkish. So if you're going for that look, like a sort of rusted, you can use a darker primer underneath, and it'd come out looking rusted or old. If you're going for that, I'll just be waiting for my anodized blue to come in, which I will be using on the same piece, just in a different place.